Hello. I love your background. I love the fact you're there in the middle of Alex and Henry.
Oh, thank you. I'd rather be an Alex and Henry sandwich.
Well, who wouldn't?
Exactly. A big congrats on Red, White, and Royal Blue. It's fun, charming, and hot, and I love it.
Thank you. It's a really lovely film. I saw it in its finished form a few weeks ago and swelled with pride halfway through the film and thought, wow, actually, this is a lovely project to have been involved with.
Oh, so let's begin with the basics, Mr. William. You're the Royal Etiquette Advisor Extraordinaire. Explain to our viewers what that is and how you got involved and helped make the film.
So I was brought on during pre-production, which is great. It's lovely to be brought on so early in a project and looked at the script to point Matthew in the right direction, or just to give him a sort of pat on the back and go, yes, great, fantastic, you've got that spot on. Of course, the royal family, certainly the British royal family, are incredibly well documented, and people know probably much more about them than any other family that's involved, sort of head of state family. And so it's nice to get the authenticity right, which is what Matthew wanted to convey, and to make sure the fairy tale was not too Disney, for example. It's not too make believe, but there is an element of that authenticity, as I say. So going through the script and just sort of with pointing to go, oh, maybe this would have been said, or I think I can remember having conversations about, like, how would a British person swear, or sort of semi swear? Would they say golly or gosh, and things like that, which is a lovely level of detail to be working with. And obviously Matthew knows the UK quite well, so was pretty much there on the page for most of it, and it's of course copied across from the book with certain changes, and so that there was a good source to go from.
You have an interesting background with a lot of accomplishments, right? You're an author, director of The English Manor. I mean, how did you choose this as a career? I mean, what got you interested in becoming a royal etiquette advisor?
It was a complete accident. I started teaching when I was 16 or 17 at my school. I was still at school, and I was asked to teach the younger years. My grandmother had given me books of etiquette when I was 12 and 13, and I had loved them and bought more books and sort of self-studied at home. And then I was asked to start teaching. I don't know why they asked me, but it was either that or play sport. So I was absolutely fine with just sort of doing how to set a table. And it just sort of organically evolved and happened from there. It was never the plan. It was never designed like that. It just has happened like this and has given me wonderful opportunities, including working on this film.
Oh, now tell our viewers the very basics of correct form and good manners, Mr. William.
Well, I think certainly for British people, and particularly British royalty, there's a lot of suppression, which is not, suppression is good and bad in moderation. I think in this day and age, you've got to almost, people have to have an opinion on everything. And actually, not everything has to be a hot take. And actually, sometimes to say nothing, or to give a non-committal, oh, right, gosh, type of thing is actually better than nothing. So I think in terms of, and obviously Nick, who plays Henry, is British, and so has that understanding already of royal family that I think Brits have, because we sort of grow up watching news clips and seeing them out and about, and we're more aware of them. But yes, just sort of being slightly more reserved and not showing everything, showing our hand, to use a sort of a poker analogy, too quickly.
Yeah. So you helped Nicholas in the film, right?
Yes, correct, and other members of the cast.
Who else did you advise in the film besides Nicholas? I mean, the character.
Generally, if they were British or royal, I was there helping them. So I worked a lot with Thomas Flynn, who plays Philip, and Ellie Bamber, who plays Beatrice. Stephen Fry did not need any coaching. And to be honest, when you get told that Stephen Fry is playing the king, it's like, oh, well, I'll just stay at home then. Because he's got it down pat. I mean, he knows he's friends with members of the royal family. He knows. I was there to help others, and I was always there. He knew that he could come and ask me, but he's such a pro and such a sort of a statesman of acting that you sort of interfered at your peril. But he was a delight to work with.
You know what? You did a great job with Nicholas. Really, I mean, I interviewed him, and the last time I saw him was in the movie Purple Hearts. I mean, just a totally, totally different film. And then all of a sudden he's here. I'm like, wow. I mean, very royally, if you may.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks the part. He's gorgeous. He you know, it's not just looks. I mean, you can be gorgeous and not get it. I've seen many examples of sort of fake royal families on TV and film where, you know, they sort of look right, but then the whole thing falls apart. I mean, I think the William and Kate film that came out in 2011, just before they got married, maybe it was a Hallmark film, or I can't remember who it was, but yeah, that was, you know, that was put together very quickly and maybe didn't have the attention to detail that Red, White and Royal Blue has had from all departments, not just the one-man etiquette department.
You know what? I love the film. I actually stayed up until 3 a.m. this morning to finish it. I couldn't stop it. It's a fairy tale made for me.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. And I think it was during the karaoke scene in the film that I suddenly, which is not a scene I was involved in at all because it's set in Austin, that I suddenly, when I watched it, had this, I got emotional, which is very odd for a Brit to admit that. And obviously by emotion, I meant one single tear. I mean, that was about as emotional as we got. And I thought, wow, if this film had been around when I was growing up, I had a very nice childhood. My parents were absolutely fine with me being gay and were there at my wedding to my husband last year. So I've had it absolutely fine in the grand scheme of things, and I'm aware of that. But it just would have still been nice to have this sort of film and to not be watching everything where it's a man and a man dating a woman dating a man, and sort of that be almost presented as the only option.
Oh, so do you believe in fairy tale happy ending, Mr. William?
Oh, yes. Yes, I think so. I think everyone gets their fairy tale.
Oh, you know, the film at its heart is believing in yourself and finding the real you. Do you agree with me on that?
Yes, completely. And by all means, you find the real you, and sort of you do have to put yourself first. But actually, good manners sometimes are about considering other people as well. They should be considering you, of course. It's a two-way street. But yes, find it being true to yourself and listening to your heart. And as the saying goes, love wins.
You know what, and not to belabor, you know, I don't want the viewers to think it's all just pure romance. I mean, there's a lot of things that are happening in real life right now that you can actually see in the movie. You agree with me on that, right?
Yes, completely. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, now Red, White, and Royal Blue will be streaming on Amazon Prime on August 11th. What do you hope for viewers to get after watching the film?
Well, if nothing else, they're just going to enjoy the film. It's a lovely film. It's a nice, easy watch. It's beautifully made. It's funny. It's sad. It's got pathos. But if anything, you know, certainly as a Brit, I would hope they can, for those that aren't familiar with the British royal family, like people that have born in Britain or lived in Britain for a long period of time, they can sort of see that actually it is quite difficult being a member of the royal family. You might live in a palace. You might have someone to sort of put your clothes out and do your ironing and cook meals for you. But there are all sorts of other problems that come along with that actually maybe we as members of the public actually probably have it better, even though we don't probably all live in palaces.
Right, like phones. And I mean, there's a lot of little intricate stuff that you don't know. But a big congrats on Red, White, and Royal Blue again, Mr. William. And I promise to have the perfect form and good manners every day.
Thank you, Manny. You already do.
Thank you. Good luck on everything, okay?
Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Thank you, Manny.
Bye, guys.